Hey Capricorn, I don't know what happened. Played the video, and as I did, everything started updating. But whatever, I'll start from here. So in the pre-shuffle, I had a 5 of oysters, 5 of coins. So a 5 of coins, that's someone who feels like they are left out in the cold, rejected somehow. Maybe you rejected somebody or somebody rejected you. This could be due to a soulmate, a karmic soulmate situation, and it doesn't have to be a love relationship. It also could be friends, families, or maybe now ex-friends, and family, or just a group of energies that kind of like mirror the other, that you decided to walk away from, or somebody decided to walk away from you. You see, like with this 2 of Cups, like he's offering her, the Queen, something, and she's all pissed off. She's like, I don't want that shit. And with the Chariot, the issue is that you moved away. Maybe somebody feels like abandoned or rejected and at loss because you moved away from them. Now, the foundation is 10 of Swords in reverse. Now, people say with Capricorns that we can be kind of cold, I don't think that's necessarily true. We can have kind of a sharp edge to us as well. Yeah, that's true. Kind of have like that Scorpio energy, But we're never just right out and sharp with someone for any reason. It's usually a particular reason, and usually it's a collection of a lot of indiscretions that this person had with us, or we kind of did with them. I don't know. Take it where it resonates. Maybe it's both right off, but mainly I feel like this is kind of like somebody stepped on your toes way too many times. And I feel like there was a big, like, blowout. And you had to put somebody in their place because they have disrespected you way too many times. And it could have been outwardly. It could have been in passive-aggressive ways. It could have been, someone who's not even outright, like just overtly like rude and mean, but they're just passive aggressive, and they do that like kind of like a psychological warfare where you kind of leave after hanging out with this person or being around this person, and or even talking on the phone with this person, or even them texting. You're like, oh God, you feel drained. You feel not very good about yourself. You feel like upset, confused, unsure of yourself. And I think when you were dealing with this person, it was kind of like, it was a multiple occurrence kind of thing. And at first, maybe you didn't even feel like that was the issue. And at first, maybe you were even trying to kind of figure it out or pinpoint it. Where is the issue? Because I feel like we've all been coming out of a cloud of, kind of like big blah, and feeling like we can't focus. Now that Venus has moved out of Capricorn, thank God, you could be a little more sharper, a little more aware, and things are suddenly a lot more clearer. A lot more clearer. And then as Venus started to move and you started to realize what was going on. The fog is lifted. And then you started going back in time, pinpointing, you know, every indiscretion, every insult, every kind of small betrayal. You had a big blowout. And I feel like it wasn't all that pretty. They saw a side of you that they didn't even really understand that was there, because it's not a side of us that we really like to show, because it's not really our full nature. It's not, you know, the way we are in general, but it just takes a certain kind of person and a certain habitual action to bring it out of us. And I feel like once you started figuring it out, and maybe you even knew in the past as well, but you kind of felt bad for this person, whatever kind of like feeling of like feeling sorry for this person if they're going through something, it kind of ran out. Like they overstepped their boundaries, they took too much. Like I bet they started to, it was like they started to kind of feed on your energy a little, you know. I think maybe even like your finances slowed down or got crazily reduced. You couldn't concentrate at work, or you were less productive. You know, because sometimes, even though like people would misconstrue us like we're cold, we're not. We're deeply empathetic. Like we care about people. We may not show it on our face, and we care, you know. It's mainly about the people like we decide to let in a little closer to us to kind of get to know us. And when you feel betrayed habitually, it feels like a deep injustice. It feels like a deep, like a gut shot, you know. Like someone just stabbed us right in the gut. But it was multiple times, and instead of you speaking out, you know, and catching it where it was, because I'm sure maybe you couldn't even pinpoint it at first until later. Or maybe you couldn't catch it, or maybe it took you a little time to respond or to figure out what to say, or if you should say it, or maybe this sense of empathy that you had for this person, whatever situation that they were going through, would kind of like kind of dulled that into stopping you from saying what you feel like you should have said. And once again, that empathy wore out. They took your kindness for weakness. And they've done it too many times. It was a complete disregard to your feelings in some case. And after too many times, like you kind of, you had to show that other part of you, you know, on the axis of that Capricorn and Cancer, you know, that mother and father, you know, they got the Capricorn side of it, because we could flip back and forth, you know, our past life, this life, you know, it's like you mess with the bulls, you get the horns. Whatever bullshit that you were putting up with, you definitely put an end to that. And you definitely let them have it. And maybe it wasn't the best way to express all of that, but maybe it was just that frustration that you held it down for so long that You even had a sense of injustice that you did to yourself, which kind of increased the explosion. Now, in the past, you could have been dealing with a Knight of Wands. Now this person is immature, maybe overindulgent. It's good for, maybe they even like to, you know, be, I don't know, like poke the bear a little. They like to poke the bear. They like to get people's goat. They like to, you know, push the boundaries, see how far that they could go, because maybe they were overindulged when they were younger. That, you know, a no to them doesn't even really mean no, because they kind of got what they wanted eventually. I don't know. Maybe it was a sense of feeling entitled, maybe, or egotistical. I don't know. But regardless, it was like this person didn't consider your feelings. This person didn't they just were thinking about what they wanted. You know, they really did. And they really did use your kindness for weakness. And they were very expectant of your time and energy. They totally maybe even guilt-tripped you and made you feel responsible for their emotional well-being somehow. Your goals, your conscious awareness is the Queen of Cups. Trying to be empathetic, not only to this person, but to yourself. Now, you don't have to outwardly be empathetic towards him or her and be like, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm sorry, blah, 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 because if it's not your fault, there's no reason to be sorry. Maybe sorry for the way you reacted, but even then, I wouldn't even worry about it, because guess what? If you're moving away, you're moving away. If they screwed you over, they screwed you over. You don't owe nothing to anybody. In fact, it looks like this person owes you an apology, because look, they're immature Knight of Wands. Overindulgent, selfish, expectant. And you're trying to see things in a more empathetic kind of perspective, not for only them but yourself. And you're using the way you're enacting that empathy is by walking away, because I feel like this person put a lot of blockages in your life, and people who are over needy and codependent or entitled, they expect all of your time and energy. Maybe they didn't even realize that they were doing it at the time, because they kind of just want what they want and they don't really consider anybody else. But what is the downfall of being around people or energies like that? It's like you become less productive. You start having your money start feeling like your income starts, you know, and your productivity starts going down. You know, like you start having all these disasters and small fires, and then they're here bitching and complaining that, hey, you don't hang out with me. Feel sorry for me. I'm going through something, while your life is kind of falling apart. And then did this person consider that? Did these people consider that, or did they just care about what they want? Did they want what they want more than even having a second thought of you? And if they think so little and consider so little about you and your position and the things that you need to do, then how much did they really care and consider you at all? Because you are empathetic. You try to look at everybody with, you know, a sympathy and, you know, light and love and all of that, especially if it's people that you've had a history with. But it's the fact that's being inconsiderate, and to the fact that it really started, they guilted you. They played on your heartstrings, and, you know, they were feeding off your energy. And I feel like the moment you started to realize this, and you got the hell out of here. You had a lot of immature energies around you. I don't know if it's just this particular energy or multiple. But I feel like a really protective kind of energy around you, like you're putting back your protective barriers. This person took too much time and energy. This person was too needy. This person really needs to start taking care of themselves and depending on themselves. Like, if this isn't your child, they shouldn't be expecting you to coddle them like they are. And even if it's like a glutton, like they don't care if even you're a mother or father or parent. They just kind of want what they want. They want company. They want something to do. They want, you to come and entertain them like a freaking clown. And you're like, hey, I got shit to do. Like, I get it that you're having a hard time. Yeah, I'll be there for you a bit because we've had history. But you know what? You kind of crossed the line too many times. Maybe this person is overindulgent as well. This person may be, someone who drinks a lot, someone who possibly overindulges, and like I've seen it, overindulgence. Now, this person was a huge drain on your energy. You may have even felt depressed, like they were feeding off of you, whatever they were going through. Like, maybe their luck started to increase and their finances started to increase. Their feelings and, happiness started to increase. It was because they were feeding off of you when everything was going better for them. And you were kind of on a even path. I'm not saying it was kind of even. We're trying to keep things even. Like, you felt like it was like they were draining all of that good energy and karma from you, and they were feeding off of you, and they were kind of like they were benefiting off of it. And not only that, it was like they expected more. They had the nerve to tell you it's not enough, that you don't care enough, that you shouldn't do enough. Oh, you're busy? Well, what do you have to do? Like, excuse me? Like, how dare you? What do you mean, what do I have to do? Like, who are you to even ask me that question? You know what I mean? Like, the entitlement. Maybe you could have been dealing with a narcissist. Somebody is, I don't know. Whatever this drain has been coming off, like, of this parasite that was like draining you. Now that you're not around this person, you blocked him off, or these people, I feel like a huge increase of your energy already. Like, you're coming out of feeling, maybe you're coming out of some kind of sickness or some kind of like depression. Like, they really started to mess with your headspace. And it was weird because they were the ones that was going through a hard time. Technically, you were fine. You're just trying to keep everything up in the air. But it was like whenever you're around this person, it took a couple days, and then this person the next day started texting again. Very intrusive, like very entitled, like very codependent. And it's like, oh God, like I can't, there's no way to be nice about this anymore. There's no way. And on top of it, they're being passive aggressive or insulting, or they just cross the line, maybe outwardly or just kind of passive aggressively. And then you called it out. They see you as leaving, walking away, starting off to something new. Maybe this is where that neediness started to come up. They had a fear of rejection or abandonment. So they try to crowd your energy, or maybe they didn't want anyone else to be around you. So they try to take up all of your time like a gluttonous pig. If this was family, that's what they did as well, to try to keep you stuck from keep you from growing and moving on. And now that you were like, okay, I'm going to make that decision. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to cut them off. It's like, damn, look at that. They think that, oh, whatever, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. And look, they still don't even know what the issue is. You may have exploded on them. You may have told them the issue, but then they're like, oh, this person's crazy. Capricorn's crazy. It's Capricorn who has the issue. It's Capricorn who's just arrogant. But, oh, and now they're leaving. And they don't even consider how much time and energy that you took out of your day, out of your, because you cared enough. And they were just so unappreciative. It was just never enough. It was just never enough. And you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna bounce, because you know what? Like, you're a gluttonous pig that's like eating up all my energy, and I gotta walk away from this because, they see you as somebody that's leaving. And maybe you're even foolish for leaving because they still don't see they're part of it. But that's the way narky people are, though, anyway, right? Maybe this person tried to offer you something and, like you just wanted to be, because they were coming out of something like they wanted to get over something by getting under something or over somebody, else. Maybe they had some kind of idea about you that, oh, okay, well, we should be together. And then they didn't really take the hint if you guys were friends and if you rejected them. And it was like, it was still intrusive. If it was that family member and you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to talk about that toxic ass sibling, if it was a toxic parent, and don't bring this person up to me. Don't expect me to do stuff for them, because they're leeches as well, or else I'm going to feel like it's a personal betrayal. Again, they're like bringing them up. Oh, you should help your, oh, you're selling a place because you may not be able to afford your mortgage payments. Oh, well, you should have your sister sell it for you because she just got a real estate license and you could make her some money. And it was like, bitch, what? And it's like a explosion. It could have been like, that work situation with that boss who, like, passed you up for some kind of increase or raise, or like a higher position because they liked all of the stuff that you were doing for them. And then, like, once they passed you up for that position and they got somebody else, they're still asking you to do shit. And then it was like, boom, blow up, because like you held on to it for so long. Because with Capricorn, sometimes we have trouble communicating what is really the thing that's bothering us. Because with Saturn, we're dealt with a lot of situations in our life that kind of were over controlling, over obtrusive, kind of like even abusive in whatever aspect that, or planet that it falls within Capricorn. It holds that energy of Saturn, of restriction, of control, of rules, and sometimes, and even since childhood in some ways. And, sometimes it takes us time and practice to be able to put into words what we're feeling, or even connect the feelings to our thoughts to be able to communicate those words. And so that's why it's like the blow up effect. There's not an issue. There's not an issue. There's not an issue. Okay, that's a little bit of an issue. That's a little bit of an issue. That's a little bit of an issue, but it's nothing said. And then one day they're like, oh, let me borrow your pen. And then they don't return it. And then it's a huge explosion. It's like, oh, it's my fucking pen. And then they're like, whoa, what the hell is your problem? And it was like, because you held on to it so long, because it took you a while, until you were just pushed and pushed so far. It was like, maybe it was just a lot of pressure going like on top of you, like as well. And it was like nobody even really considered that, you know? Nobody considered the pressure that you were going under or the issues that were coming up with you. All they were thinking about is themselves. And this could have happened in multiple different areas in your life at the same time. Could have been your parent or sibling and a friend who didn't get the point, who just wants what they want, just gluttonous and selfish and always thinking about themselves and other people and benefiting off of your back. Now, you hope to get back to work, putting the work in, whatever kind of depression or feeling of lethargic or, malaise or just exhaustion, and, even feeling kind of like you're giving up hope a little, like you're finally coming out of that. You're ready to put the work back in, and you hope to. But your fear, even discouragement, like I feel a sense of discouragement, and maybe you took a hiatus from the things that you love or you're passionate about because of this feeling of discouragement, and you want to get kind of putting the work back in, but maybe you fear putting the work back in as well because it's going to give you the more of the same result, which is not a whole lot. It's not exactly what you feel that you should be paid or you should be given. You should be given that consideration, but you weren't. You should have been given that higher pay, but you weren't. You should have been loved and cared for by that parent or sibling because all you ever did was try to be more empathetic and loving to them, but then you weren't. And so you stopped punishing yourself, and by allowing and putting an end to allow to people benefiting off your back, because you know what, you got enough on your plate, and you knew this. And I felt like you had a little bit of this resentment building, and once you saw the ungratefulness of everything that they've already taken for you, whether it was time, energy, and all of that, like, that's when you're like, okay, you know what? I don't even fuck your feelings. I don't care. And now I'm gonna hurt your feelings because now I've been coddling you or whatever. Like, I've been trying to be too empathetic, and even though I wanted to, I was trying to be that supportive person. But guess what? I gave you a little bit of my blood to kind of keep you sustained or alive, but then you wanted all of it. You wanted to drain me dry, and guess what? I got enough going on. It could be trying to work, children, it could be home life, it could be maintaining your own life, it could be trying to level out your finances or finding a way to, make more money. It's like robbing Peter to pay Paul, or, shuffling around your finances and everything else, and everybody trying to pull you which way and the other. But none of these bitches kind of came around to want to help. And none of them ever asked, oh, what do you need? And if they did ask, oh, well, how could I help? It was always with some kind of agenda. It's like, oh, okay, well, if I offer Capricorn at this, it might be a little bit, it might make them more open to accepting something that I want. Like, oh, if I want to sleep with Capricorn, they might sleep with me. Or, oh, if I If it's that parent, oh, then, you know, if I bring Capricorn food or something every once in a while, now that we're talking again, maybe that they'll help out their toxic ass sibling that's been treating you like shit all of your life and screwed you over multiple times. And maybe that they could get paid off of Capricorn's back or misery. And did they ever ask from you if you needed anything? And if you did, it was all about feeding everybody else. And it's like, well, no, like, I remember why I cut you bitches off. I remember why I don't talk to you. Or if this was a friend that started coming around after you kind of had a falling out, you're like, I remember why we had a falling out. Because, like, you're a little bitch, you know? Seven of Swords. So, Seven of Swords. Deception. Trickery. Someone who takes what they want and without any intention to give. Somebody who kind of always looks out for themselves. Somebody or a group of people that only ever cared about themselves, like what they can get. The moment that you go out to help them or you loan them money, they're already like, it's out of their head that you ever loaned them money or if you ever did anything for them or if they even had to ever pay you back. You know, it's people that just take what they want and then kind of leave. And it's like you've kind of went over this situation before, these situations before, and you've cut these people off before. But it's that love, this Queen of Hats, this sentimentality, this feeling of loyalty or nostalgia to a group of people who you care about, but who maybe you cared more about them than they cared of you. Maybe they just cared about what they wanted, and that's why they acted like what they wanted was the most important thing. Maybe they're just selfish and indulgent people, or maybe they're just so used to getting what they wanted from you that they think that eventually you'll just agree to what they want as long as they repeat themselves or reiterate themselves enough. And like, whatever, like I gave Capricorn food that couple of times. I'm sure that'll, you know, sweeten her up or him up to be able to do shit for me or somebody else I wanted them to do shit for. And look at you in lack. Well, they take a chunk of your energy and then they go walk away. They wanted to control you and your energy, and you're here trying to juggle everything again. Trying to make up for these lack of finances, for this time and energy spent somewhere else that wasn't even productive for you or the closest to you. And then they were still just really ungrateful about it. Really shitty and ungrateful about it. I don't know who this person was to you. Actually, let me see. Let me clarify. And it could have been multiple things, but now that, ooh, Lovers in reverse with the Knight of Wands in reverse. This person could have had someone else on the side and sees everybody as everybody as another opportunity to have sex with, who sees everybody like as an opportunity to get what they want. This person or people, they don't really have close friends or loved ones. They have opportunities. This person could have been like all taking up your time because maybe they're just gluttons and then they just want everybody's time. Like they didn't want to really invest in you, but they didn't want you to be able to go to do anything else either or need anybody else either. They didn't fully want you, but they don't want anyone else to have you either because you're so damn beneficial. You know, you're so damn like, you bring so much positive energy around this person, and while you're being depleted like completely. This could have been friends, this could have been family, this could have been a love interest. But I feel like there is no real love or connection. Like the way that they thought their relationship was with you, it didn't really match the reality of how you felt about it. And they were just so like self-serving that they didn't even consider, you know, what your part or how you felt about it. Because like King of Swords with the Knight of Wands, with the Lovers in reverse, this could have been someone you've had a history with, friends, families, maybe at the same time. But I feel like it's someone closer than just work. And if it was a business partnership, it was towards like someone who was close with you, a friend or a family. And King of Swords on their side. This is someone who is cynical, judgmental, critical, someone who sees the fault in everybody but never, you know, doesn't see the fault within themselves, because that's where the immaturity comes in. I see definitely narcissist feeling. It's like they don't really love anybody because it's like everybody's more of an opportunity. What they get, they just like control. They'll just say or do whatever as long as that they think it'll get them the result that they want. And if they don't get the result what they want, then they'll kind of have a new result. Like they'll just come up with another tactic. And maybe that's what this person has done, which is like it was the same issue. It's like, dude or chick, I'm not into you. I told you multiple times we're just friends. It's never going to happen. But then they come up with a different angle. And then it was like, okay, well, we were friends for like, you know, we weren't best friends, but we were friends. And I've known you for like whatever, 10, 15 years or whatever. But it doesn't mean like, we're just so close like that you think you could kind of, that you know me as well as you think that you do, that you can manipulate Capricorn like that. You know what I mean? That they think that they know you as well or enough, and that they'll try a new tactic. If that doesn't work, well, I was just joking, I was just playing, blah. Oh yeah, you want to play? Okay, let's play. And then, look at that. These are clarifying themselves. I can't even make that up. Queen of Wands, Queen of Wands. Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. That's crazy. You're ready to put the passion into yourself, the work into yourself. This person has taken enough for you and you don't want it. This person doesn't know you like that. This person isn't as close as they think they are to you. You separated them from yourself from them emotionally and now physically. this sense of being sorry for them, which they use to the best of their ability as another tactic. You saw it for what it was now and what it always was. And now it's like, you know where the work needs to be put back. You know what's been stalled. It was like they're actively stopping you from trying to grow, from trying to put the work into yourselves, because then they think that they deserved it more. They think that you should have made them the top priority. Look, you're going to have strength. Whatever discouragement that you've been feeling in your life, this person didn't make it feel any better. And I just notice when a person comes around, does shit start going wrong one after the other. They could have Leo within their chart, Aquarius, Aries, or you could. Scorpio, Sagittarius. But you're having the strength to walk away. You're having the strength and the wisdom to walk away. Maybe you knew this person was juggling, if they had a third party, and you really cared about this person, or they were stealing from you. And if it wasn't just energetically, it could have even been financially. But I feel like you definitely came up with the wisdom and strength to walk away, because guess what? It came blatantly obvious that this person only cares about themselves and only ever did. And the moment that you had this blow up with them and you walked away, were they even really thinking about how you still felt about it, or what kind of benefits that they could lose from it, or what kind of angle that whatever their agenda that they were trying to get from you is now they wouldn't get that benefit. I don't know. It kind of feels like that way. Look, it's Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords. Both underneath the deck, clarifying the other. I can't even make this up. You're having hopes for better. You're moving away from any sneaky, thieving person. I feel like maybe this person even did steal from you. If this was like a work person, possibly, or maybe even family or friends, like you found out that this person was like either talking shit about you, they were stealing from you, and it was like whatever came out, whatever came to your awareness, whatever revealed itself, like they thought that you were just, oh, you're just like, you're too nice, you're a pushover, whatever. Capricorn will hear me out. You know, you showed them what the cold power of Saturn could really do, you know? You're gaining your strength back, and I could feel after you cut these people out, you're already getting stronger. You're starting to feel like yourself again. This could have been because Venus finally moved. I was like, thank God, which is weird because those are my places. It's like Moon and Venus in Capricorn. But then you have that hazy feeling, and it's like whatever bullshit. It was like, why is everything going wrong? Why is nothing that I'm doing working? Why are there consonant eruptions? Why do I feel confused? It was these people doing something sneaky behind your back. And I feel like there's some other factors here that you may not even know the whole story to, that it could be coming out as well later on. Maybe This will reveal itself a little later because it's like whatever you know, it's like the tip of the iceberg. It's like these persons, what's the one way you could piss a Capricorn off? Wasting their time, money, and energy. How do you make a Capricorn feel as betrayed as possible and just totally like explosively mad, waste a fucking Capricorn's time, and then be ungrateful about it? Pulling on your emotional strings. They were trying to trigger you to throw you off balance so you couldn't do what they wanted to do. It wasn't that they just wanted your energy. They wanted to keep you stuck as well so then they could control your energy too. And I feel like a lot of the same kind of bullshit that was happening to Sag that I read earlier, you've been dealing with the same. Maybe you could have been your Capricorn Sagittarius cusper. But I feel like this Venus retrograde, was it? You dealt with some people from your past that was coming back from your past and just reminding you why they were people from your past. Why that they weren't actively in your life every day, and why did your life get so fucked up at the time that they were around. And now you're finally, that whatever discouragement and depression that you feel, a lot of them was their emotions that they were projecting on you. Giving you these fucking guilt trips and bullshit. It's like psychological warfare is really what it is. I don't respect people like that. I really don't. Make sure these are all right set up. And you did the right thing from walking away. I know you already feel better. They shouldn't have poked the bear. But I guess we're trying to reflect as well. Maybe I could have handled that better. Maybe you even feel bad about how quickly you blew up, but I feel like they were just trying to egg you on. They were trying to incite you because they knew that it would throw you off balance. Maybe I could be right, maybe I could be wrong, but I just get that feeling about it. Because maybe it makes them feel powerful to be able to get some kind of emotional reaction from you. It's like they know that trigger. And then when they pull that trigger, then they could be like, see, look how powerful I'm strong I am. That I could get Capricorn, somebody who has such a great poker face, to explode the way that they do. But we don't want to be around people who trigger us, and that's why we left their ass in the dust in the past. You know, these people are very, what's the word? It'll come to me. Advice. What's your advice? All tied up. You feel stuck. This person feels stuck. This person feels stuck. They feel trapped in some kind of depression or depressive state. Or they wanted to even tie you down because they felt trapped within their own lives. And you really cared about this person. You really wanted to reach out because that's the way you heal as well. Because you try to heal the people that you love as well. But we can't take people's karma from them. Because all it does is really, it indulges them. And then when they're indulged, like, they will never improve. They will never learn their lessons. And we start taking all of that nasty ass karma that they accumulated, and we start paying the price for it. Maybe because we've had such a hard life and such a restrictive life when it comes to love and emotional empathy that we wanted for us, that we never wanted anyone else around us to hurt the way that we were hurt. But we can't take anyone's pain for them, and we can't help those who doesn't want to help themselves, and especially who wants to punish the people that help them. Because all it does, it becomes like it just becomes hurting yourself. So you feel heartbroken that another person that you actually thought cared for you, and you just found out it was just another self-serving thing. You thought that things were improving, and you want the best when it comes to families and friends, people that you did hold a special place in your heart for, that it could improve and it could get better, and you don't want to see anybody else in pain. But the thing is, they were in pain because they put themselves there. They're going through shit because they caused the shit themselves. And if they weren't going through that particular shit, they probably would have caused more shit for themselves. And you can't sweep anyone else's front door and ignore your own, because things get out of balance. And now you're starting to have to catch up from all of that. They try to put a damper on your plans because they cared more about themselves and their wants and needs more than they ever did of yours. And I bet you've done a lot for this person as well. Perhaps they think that they've done a lot for you, but whatever they think that they've done for you, it was because of a self-serving place that it came from, was because they had every intention to get something else from you and more than whatever they gave. But they started messing up your plans, and you definitely had to put a stop to that. And because Capricorn, like, we do have a strength. We do have a strength to us. But sometimes it takes us a while to grow into that strength. Sometimes it takes us a while to voice what it is that we really feel, because sometimes we can be somewhat like air signs like that it takes us a while to figure it out. And then once we figure it out, it takes us a while to voice it. But you don't want to put your time and energy into something that doesn't bring any kind of benefit or victories to you. It's just a bad business decision. It's a bad investment. You may feel like you or this other person may have felt like you've lost something. or whatever work and strength that you try to put into, it was like it delayed your victory in some kind of way because they saw to it to make sure to try to delay your victory. And they put a lot of work into trying to delay your victory because they don't want anyone doing better than they are. Because in the way that they get their self-worth is to make sure that you act and in a way that they are the most important thing in the world. And if it takes them to stifle you in order to achieve that, then there's nothing to hold them back from doing that, because it was a need that they felt to feed their ego and to make themselves feel better. And now you know this is not a victory that you want or that's beneficial and that you need, and you're having a strength to walk away and put the work back into yourself. Look, envy. Seven of Swords. This person was envious that you have a purpose. Maybe because you're so damn focused, or you have a focus and they still feel aimless. They hate you for it, or they dislike you for it, or they're deeply resentful for it. Because they don't want anyone to have that kind of, life path or meaning, or they were envious of that. You have a plan. You have a purpose within this life, and so does this person, but then they are too busy trying to stop everybody else and put up roadblocks for everybody else than it is to figure that out for themselves. Because they were envious. And they were selfish. They try to keep a hold on you to keep you stuck. If they had any hopes of a romantic relationship, even though you gave them no clue that you were interested, and perhaps even told them you weren't interested, now that you kind of let them have it, now that they know it's really done, that now that you figured out their mind games, it's really seen. If it's with family or friends, now that they know they fucked up, and they're going to be on the bench warming of the game for maybe the next year or two, because you're not going to yell and scream anymore. You're just going to remove yourself, because it's a bad investment to be with self-serving people. But that's what I got for you, Capricorn. Taking your power back, cutting out the envious people. We don't fight battles that we know that there's no way of winning. Hopefully that was helpful. If not, maybe next time. Smash that like button and donation box below if you feel moved to do so. Love you lots. Bye.